Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel. I am Neha Paryani. In this session, we are going to discuss about a new subject called financial management. So when we talk about the subject, this subject is very important when it comes to writing competitive exams relating to commerce, relating to management or finance. Okay, so you will study this subject in your graduation level, in your post-graduation level, in courses like BCom, MCom, MBA, and especially when you are doing MBA in finance. So this session is going to be a theoretical introduction of the subject. In my upcoming sessions, we are going to cover all the practical aspects of this subject. Also, if you want MCQs on this subject, do let me know in the comment section below. Okay, so now we'll start with the meaning of financial management. But before understanding what is financial management, we should have a clear idea about what is management, right? So if I say in simple words, management is the art of getting things done through others. Okay, remember, management is not physical activity. It all deals with decision making and mental ability. Okay, so here basically management means extracting the maximum work possible out of minimum resources, right? So when we talk about management of people, it means that we should extract the maximum work possible from minimum people. When we talk about management of time or management of space, then we should get the things done in the limited period of time. Okay, so managing the finance here is equally important. Okay, we all know that finance is very important aspect of our business organization, right? It's called as lifeblood of our business. Like how blood is important to our body, in the same way finance is important to our business organization, right? So managing it's very important here. Okay, so now what does financial management means? Okay, it's nothing but, in simple words, extracting the maximum returns possible out of minimum inputs, right? If suppose I am investing 100 rupees in different sectors, okay, so I will try to analyze out of which sector I am getting the maximum returns. Okay, so I'll further invest my money into that sector. Okay, basically financial management deals with taking decisions relating to finance, like how to raise the funds, how to invest them into different sectors, okay, how to get the maximum returns possible. All these things, decision making process will be done in the financial management. Okay, so there are 4 major financial decisions which needs to be taken for effective financial management. Okay, so these are very important. So these form a base for this subject, right? So we will discuss about all these things practically also in our upcoming sessions, right? So this is what financial management is all about, right? So first among them is fund requirement decision. So this step is also called as forecasting, because here we are deciding that how many funds are going to be required in the future. We are estimating here. Okay, so for that we need planning, right? Proper planning has to be done, and we should know that what are the projects that our business organization is going to undertake in the future. According to that, we can decide how much funds can be required for them, right? So other than that, what are the assets that the business organization is going to purchase? Are they the long-term assets, or if they are the short-term assets? All these things should be clearly known, right? So if we know all those things, the fund requirement decisions can be easily taken, right? Now remember, if your business organization is new, obviously you need more funds, right? Because you're starting everything from scratch. In that case, the financial fund requirement decisions will be made by the promoters of your company. Okay, if your business organization is already existing, then this fund requirement decisions will be made by the chief executive of your financial department in the business organization, right? And this step is very important because the next upcoming 3 decisions depend upon this one. Okay, so if you estimate wrong, if your estimations are wrong here, suppose you estimate that you need 100 crore rupees in your business organization, okay, in future, then if you need only 80 crore rupees, if you spend only 80 crore rupees, then it may lead to over capitalization in your business organization. Okay, if you estimate that you need only 80 crore rupees but your expenses are more, so you are incurring 100 crore rupees as your expenses, so you need 100 crore rupees. So this may lead to under capitalization in your business organization. So due to this you may face heavy losses. Okay, so this step is very important here. Okay, so basically in this step the decision taken are how much funds are required, right, and how much amount is invested in current assets and in fixed capital assets or capital fixed assets. Okay, so after we know that how much funds are required, we should also know that among 80 crore rupees, suppose how much we are going to invest in the current assets and how many we are going to invest in the fixed assets. It should also be known. Okay, I hope this step is clear to you. So next we have financing decision. Okay, so financing decision means after knowing that how many funds are required, now it is the time to know from where we have to acquire the funds. Okay, suppose as I told you we need 100 crores for our business organizations. Okay, so this is a huge amount, right? It is not possible by the partners of the firm or by the owners of the firm to collect this amount, right? So we have to take the help of the third party. It might be a bank, it might be a financial institution, it might be public, right? So from which source we have to acquire the finance, that is the major task here. That decision needs to be taken. Okay, so even that we cannot take it simply. We have to do so many calculations here. Okay, and we have to find out that from which source the capital is cheaply available. Okay, so we have to find out the cheapest capital source. Now what does that mean? It means that to which we have to pay the least amount of interest or dividend, right? Suppose if we are taking loans from bank, first of all the banks won't give us 100 crore loans without any investigation, right? So the lot of investigation will be made. Our CRISIL score will be checked, CIBIL scores will be checked. Okay, so all these things will be there. So that is why most of the companies will opt for public, right? So they go into IPO, they enter into stock exchanges, and they will sell the shares and debentures to the general public. Okay, but even that is riskier, but we do that here. Okay, and knowing that what proportion of shares to be distributed to the public and what proportion of debentures to be distributed, that is also a major task. Okay, so all these decisions like from where to acquire the capital and to find out which is the cheapest source of capital, all those decisions will be taken here. Okay, so in short, if we say the decisions taken here are when the funds are required, okay, then from where to acquire the funds, right, as I told you the different sources. Okay, then what should be the proportion of equity and debt in the capital structure. Now this is very important. Okay, equity in the sense the shares, okay, and debt in the sense the debentures. So usually we treat equity or shares as the part of capital of our company. Okay, but debts are treated as part of loan of our company. Okay, so we need to have more loan or we need to have more capital. That decision needs to be taken. Okay, so if we fail at taking proper decisions here, again we may face heavy losses. Okay, so we have to remember that when the risk element is more in the business, it is better to opt for more equity shares. I'm not telling full equity shares, but when our business is risky, it involves a lot of risk, then it's better to opt for more equity shares. Okay, like 60% can be the equity shares and 40% can be the debentures. Okay, so when our business is facing less risk, or if our business is like from many years we are making good profits in the market, then we can go for issuing more debentures. Okay, actually debenture is the cheapest way when we compare between equity and debt, but if our business involves risk, it's better to go for equity. Okay, if our business is safe, then we will issue more debentures. Then it can be 60% of debts and 40% of equity shares. Okay, so reasons for all these we will discuss in the upcoming sessions. Okay, so this subject is in detail. Right now I'm telling you all the main things here. Okay, we will discuss everything in detail, right? Next, taking advantage of interest and depreciation in reducing the tax liability of the firm. Yeah, here another one thing is there. If we issue more debentures, then we have to pay them interest, right, in return. So we can take its advantage in reducing the tax liability of the firm. Okay, so we can show that we have issued more debentures, so that is why we are paying more interest to them, so we can pay the less taxes here. Okay, but if we are issuing more equity shares, then this is the part of our capital itself, right? Then that advantage we cannot take when we issue more equity shares. Okay, so all these decisions needs to be taken in the financing decision. So next we have investment decisions. So before coming to this, you should understand that suppose our business organization has made 1 crore rupees profit at the end of the year. Okay, so whole of this 1 crore rupees cannot be invested, right? So first of all, out of this, certain profits will be retained in the business itself, right? So which are used for the business purpose itself. Assume 20 lakh rupees out of our profits are retained in the business. Okay, so after that we will also keep some of the reserves, right? So some of the reserves will be kept in the business organization out of the profits. Okay, again assume we are keeping 20 lakh rupees as reserves. Okay, so after that we will pay all the interest, all the dividends, or we will pay for all the liabilities of the firm, right? So assume that to be 30 lakh rupees. Okay, now what amount is remaining here? So after payment of all the expenses, all the profits to the owner, the amount that is remaining here is again 30 lakh rupees. Okay, now this can be invested. Okay, so for investing this amount we need to take the investment decisions. Okay, so we cannot blindly invest this 30 lakh rupees in any sector, right? We know that money earns more money. Okay, so if we want to get good returns, this 30 lakh rupees has to be invested properly. Okay, so we have to calculate all the risk factors. We have to choose various sectors where the amount can be invested. Okay, after calculating all the risk factors, all the possible returns, then where we will get more returns or highest returns, in that sector that this amount can be invested, right? So it relates to careful selection of assets in which funds will be invested by the firm. Okay, we also have to decide that how much amount we have to invest in the short term assets again, and how much in the long term assets, right? And we also have to decide that all the amount is going to be invested in the one sector itself, or we have to divide this amount and we have to invest it in the different sectors. Okay, that is what we call it as portfolio investment. So all these decisions have to be taken here. Okay, if we fail to take proper decisions at this step, so we will lose all this 30 lakh rupees first of all. Okay, and we will also lose all the potential returns that we would have got if this amount was invested properly, right? So that is why we need to take carefully the investment decisions here. Okay, so in short, if we say, the decisions taken here are availability of funds a firm can commit. So as I told you, we have to first calculate how much funds can be invested out of our profits. Okay, next, capital budgeting decisions should be taken here. Capital budgeting decisions in the sense, as I told you, how much funds we have to invest in the fixed assets or capital assets. We should know that. Okay, so taking decisions relating to fixed assets will be known as capital budgeting decisions. Okay, next, working capital decisions needs to be taken. So again, I've told you this, how much amount we have to invest in the short term assets. Okay, decision relating to short term or current assets will be known as working capital decisions. Okay, then we also have to measure the risk and uncertainty of different proposals. Okay, now this element is very important. Risk element is very important while taking investment decisions, right? We have to calculate the risk here. Okay, so if the risk is more, it's better to invest small amount, or if we can avoid it, we should totally avoid it, right? Suppose if you want to invest in the stock exchange, okay, so we all know that the risk involved in the stock exchange market is very high because it is a high volatile market. Okay, suppose if you are ready to face 100 rupees as losses, then you should invest only 100 rupees. Okay, but if you invest 1000 rupees, assuming that you will get high rate of return or high returns, then you may lose the 1000 rupees. Okay, so you have to calculate the risk here. If you are ready to face 100 rupees loss, then only you should invest 100 rupees. Okay, so risk element is very important in investment decisions, right? So at last we have dividend decisions. Okay, finance minister has to decide about the portion of net profits to be retained in the business and the portion of net profits to be distributed to shareholders in the form of cash dividends. Again, this step is very important. Okay, so here the finance minister has to decide, so out of total profits, how much they want to keep it in the business itself, okay, and how much they want to pay it to their shareholders in the form of dividends. Okay, see, if we pay more dividends to the shareholders, it will increase their wealth, it will create a good image of the company in the eyes of shareholders. Okay, by seeing that, other people will also try to invest into a company. Okay, so it is a good sign. So this can be done when the firm or the company wants to earn good market share, or if it wants to earn goodwill in the market, so this can be done. Okay, but if we pay more and more dividends to the shareholders, it may also lead to overcapitalization in our company. Okay, again, that is not good for our company. Okay, so if overcapitalization happens, oversubscription happens, then we have to issue the shares according to again pro rata basis. Again, that is a long procedure. Okay, so again this decision becomes very important here. Okay, so exactly what proportion of profits should be retained in the business itself, or what proportion we have to distribute it among the shareholders. Okay, so in short, the decision taken here are how much earnings should be retained. So as I told you, retaining in the self, it means either investing it in other sectors or using by the business itself. Okay, then how much earnings should be distributed as dividend to the shareholders. Okay, so these two are the major decisions taken in this step, right? So this was just brief introduction of the subject. Okay, so all the practical aspect of financial management subject depends upon these decisions only. Okay, like we have practical problems on capitalization. Okay, we have practical problems on capital budgeting decisions, we have practical problems on working capital decisions. Okay, I told you about the capital structure, proportion of equity, debt, all those things. So all those things we will do it practically also in the upcoming session. Here I just try to congest whole of the subject in theoretical manner. Okay, in my upcoming session we are going to discuss about the two major objectives of this subject, that is financial management. They are profit maximization and wealth maximization. Okay, so do not forget to watch the next video. Okay guys, so this was all about today. If you found it helpful, please hit the like button. Also subscribe to the channel. Hope to see you in my next videos. Till that, happy learning.